Hello, mamas. Welcome to another episode of You the Mom. I'm Janice, founder of Mundo. And as you know, here on You the Mom, we love sharing stories, especially of real moms and of mompreneurs. So we have two guests today, and our first guest is a mother to one daughter and one dog. Oh, we have Pet Mundo PH, by the way. Pet Mundo.
We do. I didn't know that. Okay, that's new.
Yeah. So her deep appreciation for the Philippines stems from working abroad and eventually co-founding a beauty brand and championing of the famous Gugo shampoo, Zenutrients, something we all love. And she's also with everyone on the journey to love local, especially through play. And that's why she got together with our second guest, and now they are mompreneurs behind the brand Laro. So, our second guest is a serial entrepreneur. She is founder and co founder of startups in the fields of tech, education, and travel. She's a mom of two boys and has found the love of working with businesses that have the same passion of cultivating the culture of creativity, collaboration, and love for the Philippines. So let's all welcome Angela Dinglasan and Finina Tugade Castillo. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hi, Ange and Finina. So I know you both separately. I've worked with you both as well.
Separately.
Yeah. And then I was surprised when you had this joint venture that you actually knew each other. But before we go into that story, which I also know already, can I ask you to say something about yourself and your business and anything you'd like to share about your family or mompreneur life? So, Ange, you want to start?
Okay, sure. So hi everyone. So I run a beauty brand called Zenutrients. So if you haven't bought Boo shampoo or curls, please do. I do that. I have a daughter, Noah, and a dog named Bacon. And I started Laro last year. It's a pandemic baby, a pandemic business with Finina, who's been a long time friend.
Thanks, Ange. And Finina, can you
Hi,
share?
everyone. I'm Finina. I am into startups in tech, education, and travel. Our newest baby for the pandemic is called Lark Experiences. So we do a lot of tours around the Philippines, but we also have done it now virtually. And of course, our new one, our new pandemic baby is Laro with Angela, which is basically Pinoy plus play with little toddlers until the age of 5. I have two boys, two little ones under 4, and it has been such a roller coaster ride in the past 2 years. Kind of happy now that everything's starting to open up.
Yes. Your kids were any of them born during the pandemic? No, no. So Finina, your second one was he born
So
right before, I think?
right before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's pandemic grown.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. It's a different behavior, such like a big difference. They're only a year and a half age difference, but their behavior is so different.
Oh, wow. Well, that's maybe leading to that. I want to know more about that. And I know that your passion for your business, Laro, was really stemming from your own needs as a mom, right? So what did you notice in your children? Well, your firstborn, so Angela has one, but and with your second one, like was that something that spurred you to actually do something related to creative play? I know you wanted to keep them busy, and you were like, I was talking to Finny at the time that you were starting to make your kits, and then with your helpers, your angels at home, they became like their teachers. But was it because you saw the difference in your kids, and I think maybe even thinking about how other kids were doing at the time, those who are not as maybe as creative as you, or not as entrepreneurial as you, like you would actually take the time to create activities for your kids. So what was it about seeing in what did you see in your children that actually made you take action?
Well, for us,
Yeah.
Andrew and I actually were talking about. We had this conversation about education, right? Because we had such little ones,
Yeah.
and because we were working moms, and we were also like kind of first time moms, and they're still so young. We're like, how do we do this? Like, are you
Yeah.
homeschooling? what do we do? Usually, there are so many different institutions that help toddlers, especially, if it's a gym play, active play,
Yeah.
music, all of these things, and all of those things that we know are physical, right? So now that we were in the pandemic, Angie and I were discussing, and we're like, what do we do with our kids? Because they had their online programs,
Yeah.
but I think there was a gap wherein we realized too in the online programs that one, our kids don't talk Tagalog at home. And
Yeah.
that's not something that we pala started with, right?
Yeah.
And that the curriculum that was being taught to our kids are very Western,
Yeah.
if you might say. Most of the play, for example, are more like Western driven, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, practices and concepts are really actually quite open play,
Universal.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think what we were looking more for was something to tie them up with what they can see after the pandemic. Like if we
Yeah.
were on the beach,
Yeah.
right? Um, Andrew was saying, maybe Andrew can talk about Noah with the beach,
Yeah.
right? We wanted them to know what animals are local to us.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we're learning about animals that were maybe not, fruits that were local to us, so that when they go out
Yeah.
outside of our apartments, they know what an artist is, like,
Correct.
or
Yeah. So
No,
I think Noah's,
I have a side point
yeah.
there because we used to do events, right? So we had an event in High Street. High Street was new then. And then we were doing a Filipino games event for Havaianas. And then some kids were like touching grass for the first time when they would do like I think that was tumbang preso or something. And then one mom said actually her child didn't even know that fruits grew on trees. He thought that it was in the grocery. I mean, really,
Yeah.
diba? When you think about it, oh nga, no, parang, unless you say that, oh, there's an apple tree and apple falls on the tree, these things that we take for granted. So, Ange, how about
Correct.
you for your
I think
daughter?
Noah kasi was, so Noah's a year older, no? Than Finina's son. So she's had more school experience. And my observation was, I love her school, by the way. So her school is amazing. She was Appleseed. But
Yeah,
for the most part, and I would say this of most schools, Filipino is relegated to the Filipino class, meaning learning the language.
yeah,
But I also felt it's learning the language without context. Parang it's not as open play as it should be. So like my daughter can say, for a while she's saying manga, she didn't relate that it was a mango, but she knows what mango
oh,
is. So parang like there's a disconnect
yeah,
when you learn that way, diba? I think that's in the same way that a lot of people don't pick up a language unless you're there, or
yeah,
when you have to make. Kasi nga, if you don't put it in a
yeah,
context,
in
it's this
context.
word you in the real world.
Yeah,
So there was no Pinoy in the play. So parang she was playing, but it was like okay lang. Or let's say when she watches, because my daughter really likes nature documentaries, but obviously a lot
mhm,
aren't made here. So
yeah,
she'll go to the beach and she'll look for like, I don't know, a whale. And I'm like, parang wala dyan dito. Walang whale dito. So there is like, and I kept looking for something na, is there something that will explain to me and to my daughter what's in the beaches in the Philippines? Ang dami-dami nating
yeah,
beach, tapos wala pang gumagawa. I'm like, okay, this is a little bit frustrating.
yeah.
I couldn't even, like, actually only just yesterday, I learned the Filipino word for farm, by the way, which is sakahan. I didn't
Oh my
know.
gosh, yeah, I didn't know
So,
that either.
yeah, I didn't know. I'm like, oh my God, oh nga, what is it? Because I was doing something for Laro. I go, oh my God, I had to Google. So even that, I'm ashamed that I don't
Yeah,
know. That's a
that's
basic word,
true.
a farm. Like everyone
I've
knows
never
the
heard that.
word farm. I didn't know it's called sakahan. I go, oh, okay. So,
Okay,
I
so
mean,
yeah, so
there's a
let's
gap.
tell our listeners and our viewers what exactly is the raw. So can you tell me how you guys eventually met, and then your story of how you decided, hey, I think this is needed, and maybe do you want to partner and do something about it? So first, how did you meet? Because I know both of you separately, and you have a link, which is my cousin JC. Hi, Jace. But apparently, that's not how you met, right? So that's how Manila is, right? Small world. But can you tell me how the universe put you together? You
Oh no,
beautiful minds,
we
and
met through a mutual friend. I
yeah,
mean, just we were introduced. I remember pa nga it was a dinner in Alabang, 'di ba? So dinner at Alabang, and then we just spoke. And then Finina at the time was buying. I had just come back from Bangkok. It's like, okay, there's a lot
buying
to buy.
products, okay, for business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clothing. So I was
clothing.
like,
That's life
okay,
in fashion.
Fashion. That's your
yeah,
fashion life.
fashion. Yeah, her fashion phase. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I just came from Bangkok. You know, there's a lot there. And she's like, okay, you want to go buy? Okay, parang ganun lang. And
Fun.
it's kind of funny because both of us didn't know each other.
And this is
And
pre-baby kasi. That's easy, diba?
pre
Yeah, let's go.
pre-baby, pre-married. Well, she wasn't married. I was married, but no, I had no
Yeah.
kids yet.
Yeah.
And we did this trip, and I'm gonna tell everyone I did show up to the airport, kind of drunk. So imagine
Let's
I
be
don't
real.
know
Let's
her
be
name.
real.
Oh my God, she's not gonna talk to me again kasi lasing sa airport. Like, okay. But yeah, it still worked out. So clear, we're still friends. So yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad that, Ange was not the man belligerent. She was still coherent. And I think what it was is that we were both very type A,
Yeah.
like where we both work hard. We love working.
Yes.
We also love to have fun. So I think from that trip, it was very easy and we connected that way. And it was nice to communicate about work also. It was nice to let loose, especially after work. And I think that's how our friendship grew. I mean, we've known each other for more than 10 years, right, Ange?
I think just 10, I'm not sure, but something like that. But in the
Yeah.
smallest of universes, she is married to a good childhood friend. So I don't know, it all works out.
Yeah.
Like Angela has known my husband longer than
Yes.
him.
Wait lang.
That's
So,
true.
so when you met, Finina was with her, you were boyfriend, girlfriend.
No,
there.
not yet.
So when we first met, I said, Ange, I met this guy, blah blah blah.
Like, oh, him!
Oh my god, I know him.
Him, I know him. Okay, yan. Yeah.
That is so cool. Okay. And then, so during the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, you guys were in touch, I assume. Was that how it was? Like talking
Yeah, it was
nonstop?
actually, as usual, it was, things to us can be very spur of the moment. It was one phone call. Like, okay, let's do this. Then the next day, may plan na. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so,
But
wala
how
lang,
were you
okay.
talking about the same, like about the
We
lack
were
of
talking
Filipino
about
education, things like that?
kids and education. And I said, this is, I think, what's missing. It could be play. But then I'm like, I go, does your son know this? Because my daughter doesn't know this. So we started talking. And we had a long conversation also about how do we feel about education in general? Is it more traditional? Does everything have to be face-to-face? Not. There are advantages, or I think things we learned that we should take advantage of during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Things like the world can be your classroom. Like it really
Yeah.
can. You don't have to be there physically. You can decide to learn. And I think we have to learn in new ways. So it's kind of a hybrid for education also. Like take advantage. If you wanted to sit in a Harvard class, you now can. Whereas
That's
before, they would never ever let you do that, diba? Like, no, it's a no. But now it's accepted and it's encouraged. So I think that's a great thing. So it's also a chance for Filipinos here and globally. Na it doesn't face-to-face is good. I think it's necessary, but as is opening the world in a different way.
Yeah.
And also I think the type of education and how we learn now. Because in learning in a classroom with specific times and schedules, that kind of age was like started, generations back where it was really like industrial workers. That was your next, right? So we had this conversation where how do we prepare our kids to be competitive in their generation? Because in their generation, like for us, but we still did. I don't know all the other moms here, but when you go to the library, you look for the book.
Yeah, card catalog.
Yes,
diba?
card catalog.
Card catalog, Dewey Decimal. Parang,
Right. And then so now the kids, the information is at their fingertips, right? So we
Yes.
can teach them how to go through the Dewey system and like decimal system and then look for the book where their information is different. Right? So
That's
even
right.
their way of learning should not, my personal opinion, should not be enclosed to specific times,
Yeah.
even specific books.
Right.
So that's what we
So,
were.
so what is Laro? Tell our listeners what exactly is Laro and how did you guys design it together? What was that process like? I would have wanted to be there actually, listening in. But
Oh my
yeah,
God, I
what
don't
is
know. It was
Laro?
the fastest process ever. Did we have a process? It was so fast.
No, you know,
I think we spoke
knowing
and
you
then it
guys,
was so fast.
you probably didn't
Yeah.
even realize you were like ideating. Like you were just, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
It was more like that.
Let's do it. We don't have it for our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we needed teachers. We're like, I know one. Okay, let's interview them. We planned and rolled out in a month.
In a month, yeah.
Right, Ange?
So
Yeah.
what is it now, and what is it like? Is there a vision for the future now that it's transitioning again? The world is transitioning again. Our kids are starting to go out, and actually, some of our kids are starting to go to school again, face to face. So,
Well,
what is
it
your
really-
vision? What is it now? And during the pandemic, when you created it, and what is your eventually? What do you want to? Where do you want to bring it?
So the pandemic, honestly, we agreed it was a test period because we had a vision, like it's always Pinoy in play, because we wanted kids to appreciate the Philippines and being Filipino. So we want you to go to the beach and then actually understand top to bottom what's in there.
Yeah.
We want you to play with other kids. And like you actually, it's funny you mentioned tumbang preso because we did a tumbang preso class and it turns out all of them had never done
Yeah.
tumbang preso. So that's a small thing, but it's a big thing. We wanted to read
Ooh.
Adarna books, tahanan books, and then have them understand it in a deeper context. Kasi
Yes.
yun nga, like, so like just as an example, we had a halo-halo book and we had a halo-halo class with it.
Oh,
So that,
how was that?
you know,
How was the halo-halo class?
That was it. It was
never
hard-
doing it again, but
It was very hard for Angela and I to roll out logistically.
it was a good class, but hard logistically.
Yeah, successful. The kids really loved it. We had one kid who was like, I don't really eat halo halo, like in the class. And then we had Chef Jay Gamboa of Milky Way.
Milky Way.
Wow.
Teach them how to make it. So, they all met like a chef
Yeah.
online, and then he was teaching them about halo halo, talking to them about the ingredients. And then the kid who actually said didn't like halo halo was like, oh, this is not bad.
Yeah.
We like this. So,
And I think that's a great example of that
Yeah.
class is a great example of you can learn from anyone. Like if you imagine a more traditional setting, you're not gonna call the chef of Milky Way.
Yeah.
But
That's
diba,
right.
parang why not?
Celebrity chef
Why not?
Jay Gamboa.
Why not nga? Why not? Kasi they're so known for halo-halo, right? Everyone is Milky Way.
Yes.
Why not? Like, so call him, then we put the Adarna book together with that. So like we read the book,
Fun.
explained, and then put the history of the halo-halo, and then here, let's make the halo-halo. So it was very, sensorial as can be. Like we read, we touched, we talked to an expert. And I think that's a great example of what a future class can be and what learning about the Philippines can be.
Yeah, I love that.
So there's so many ways to do that. So it really was a test period. We did it for 3 months. We put after school kids together. I mean, Finn and I transported things we never thought. We did a butterfly.
I saw your son.
Butterfly.
But
No, but transporting a butterfly is not a joke, by the way.
And sourcing is easy. Pang wedding, diba? Pang wedding. And then transporting it, making sure it's alive when it arrives.
No. You figure out, okay, how it was cocoons. How many cocoons can the Grab guy have?
Cocoons.
Cocoons.
because
they have to watch the metamorphosis.
Wow, fun. Oh, anyway, sanay naman si Angela sa logistics.
No, that's Finina's actually.
Finina's more logistics.
Finina's more logistics. We did a buko. even sourcing. We had a long debate
Yes.
about the
Yeah, we
buko.
had a
Like,
long conversation. Like, we couldn't sleep. Okay, if we're gonna do this buko salad,
yeah.
open the buko themselves, right?
Yeah. Kasi parang it's not complete. We're like, do we send in the juice? Pero that's not the
Oo nga,
same.
that's
Like,
true.
So the parents, we had to send also the parents how to open a buko.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's right.
honestly,
by the way, there is a
know how to
YouTube
open
video that says this is how to open a buko. As in with the itak and the whole thing. Like, YouTube has everything. Kahit video na.
buko yet, Janice?
Have you?
Actually, I
Or have
know, I'm a visual person, so I know how to open it because you watch the buko guy, di ba?
Yeah.
Open it,
Yeah.
the crack it
But a lot of
open.
these kids have
But-
never. Because, I mean, have
Yeah.
never.
I'm imagining,
The coconut was like, wow, they were really all over it.
and it's
As-
layers, right? It's layers. So I can imagine how amazed they were. Like the juice and then the meat. Oh,
And I
that's,
think it speaks also a lot to, like, let's say how the three of us grew up versus how now they're growing up.
yeah.
Like, I think for us, you can visualize it right away because you remember as a child,
yeah.
yung dadaan, tapos may buko, tapos may
Yeah.
cart, ganyan. They
Correct.
don't have that. So you
Yeah,
realize kasi nasa
that's
condo
true.
sila eh. And then buko juice is now available in the
Yeah,
supermarkets.
in Tetra
You don't do
Packs.
that anymore. It's a Tetra Pak. So it's like,
Exactly.
even my daughter was like, what's that? Like, she's never seen it.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and I mean, I take her to the beach and stuff, but like, yeah nga naman, she only sees it in the pack.
Yes.
So these are things you forget,
yeah.
so it's interesting to put it in context. Now you're asking, like, where's it gonna go?
Yeah. What's your plan for it?
To be honest, we're moving away from, we had a 12 sets ba yun?
Yeah. What was it like? 12 sessions.
we did 12 sessions per month. And then it was like an online program with our guests,
Yeah.
which we wish could have been physical. But yeah, so we did that stint for 3 months.
Yeah, we're moving away from it, in the sense because part of what we always wanted to do was not to bring learning being Filipino and the Philippines to a wider audience. So we're working on that. We're working on that in a format that can, sana nga, everyone can turn on, everyone can look at. So we're working on a more media-led strategy is probably the best way to explain it at the moment. Only because the other thing we had also noticed is that both our kids, both sides, spend a lot of time watching stuff and not a lot of time watching Filipino stuff again. So I'm like,
Yes.
okay, so this is maybe the other way. Also because I think we have to make way again for new learning and new ways to learn
Right.
while respecting what we can.
Also, we, with the online program, because all the kids were also doing the online thing, and it's a Filipino class, more fun Filipino class, right?
Yes.
So you can imagine for moms, it can get expensive to put your kids in all these classes because you have school,
Yeah.
True.
and then have maybe a sport, right? And
Yeah.
then you have an interest. So the Filipino class most times actually take a step back because
Yeah. It won't be the priority.
yes,
Right.
unless you've taken a Laro class, you would be like, I don't know if I'm gonna send my kid to a Filipino play class, right? Not everyone really would be interested in it or excited about it. So we wanted to, for 2022, to make it more accessible. So just like, I guess, a little teaser, it will be, yes, like what Angela said, more media-led, and also the kits would be more affordable. So that it's easier to also just buy and then do it also at your own time.
And we wanted to respect the fact that, look, everyone's going to go back to school.
Yes.
School is important. Go to school, diba? We know you're going to have ballet and math and whatever. So here, we're going to find a way to make sure it still gets to you without necessarily burdening you with, you have to do 12 sessions at this time with this teacher, with this.
Yeah. Actually,
Because
It's also all
Yeah.
shifting to on demand, right? So because now
Yeah.
the changing time. So
Correct.
just letting you know, we have Mommy Mundo Learns, our e-learning. So if you want to put it there, you can.
I didn't know we had
And
that.
yeah, we
Hindi
have
ko alam. Okay.
e-learning. So, and
Oh,
that's what we're also going to be marketing here in North America. So it's something that education about our Philippine culture is something also
yeah.
moms here or all the immigrant moms and the expat families
You know,
and
it's actually funny you
Filipino
said that
families.
because even as small as Laro was, I think we got a few inquiries from
Yeah,
You
like
ship
one from like a few from the West Coast, someone from Canada. Because nga,
yeah,
I think especially the ones who are abroad
yeah. The more you
have
want to keep it
no
alive in the
yeah, they
children.
have no access. And if
Yeah,
we could only medyo mahirap mag-ship ng halo-halo
yeah.
ingredients to them. So
Ako pa rin
like
gagawa ng
okay.
haong and then
Yeah.
natin.
Oo. And that was also the limitation. We're like, paano na to? Are we going to be just here? But
Yeah,
that's not what we want because we want
yeah,
it for everyone. As in everyone anytime can do it.
yeah.
So that's
You'll figure it
where
out,
we're
I'm sure.
going. Yeah.
Another, maybe you can also do events because I'm thinking in parties, like kids' parties,
Yeah.
in Mommy Mundo events, you can have like an interactive, syempre nag-brainstorming na guys, right? But
Oo nga eh.
it's so exciting. I want to see those kids' eyes light
Yeah.
up. I'm sure
We
it was
did see,
fascinating.
I mean, the 3 months was really for us to understand what are we doing, what's the right way to do this, what is the most interesting things. And we saw a
Yeah.
lot of interesting things. Like there was one time we did a puto class, remember, Finina?
Oh, it was
And
it
even
was a puto class. You made
puto
puto.
making. We made puto.
Nice.
And you know, I mean, some of the moms in there, like Finina bakes. I do not bake, but I cook. But another mom, right,
Do
was
you do
she
you do
said
the sessions or is there a teacher? Or you guys
there was a teacher.
there's a teacher.
There's a teacher.
So you made puto and
They made puto, no,
oh,
and then a lot of the moms after realized, you know what? I've made pasta, I've made sourdough, I've made this. I've never made puto. Why didn't I make puto? Parang
yeah.
you don't even think about it. You don't realize it. Eh.
Yeah, that's true.
So they were like, oh my god, why haven't I made puto? This is crazy. Like I never taught my daughter, but I have a sourdough starter in there. Like
Yeah.
yes, it is true. Like you don't think about it.
Yeah. Well, my
And
daughter,
these
she's
are small
15.
things.
She wanted to make palitaw here. So
I saw
palitaw. Yeah. So I was like, I had to look for the
Did you
ingredient.
find it?
Yeah, I did in the
You can
Philippine
find
grocery.
naman in the Filipino grocery.
Yeah. But although we couldn't find fresh coconut, so there was no fresh nyog.
Well, medyo mahirap yata ang fresh coconut siya.
Yeah, right? So we
Yeah.
had to use desiccated and it didn't, of course that was the missing part. But otherwise it was okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But interesting,
Yeah.
diba? Well, she's old enough kasi to say, Mom, let's make palitaw. But for your
Yes.
kids, maybe,
No, and for the kids who
that.
let's say, because you just moved really in the last few years, but
yeah.
what about the kids? What about people whose kids are born there? So
Yeah.
they're not gonna ask for palitaw. It's never gonna happen.
Yes. Yes.
Diba? So it's
That's why you
something
have
we
a
want.
market here.
Yeah, we want to put it back.
Right. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so going back to your personal mom journeys during the pandemic, is there something that you observed in the kids, like your own observations with the children now that we're transitioning? So what's happening now in the Philippines and I guess globally as well in different stages is that we're all going back to the normal life. And do you think that the pace is going to be back to where we used to be? Like the three of us guys, we were the types of moms and entrepreneurs who would have meetings back to back. Like Finina would run from her condo to her, I think you're breastfeeding and then going back. And then she would have her kids with her. Then Angela, I remember the early months of the pandemic, you were saying, wow, I'm home with my daughter, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for new things you can do together. So how is it now for you guys in transition, both for you and your kids?
I mean, especially for young kids, well, everyone, but especially for young kids, they really need social interaction. That's not true.
Yeah.
They need to physically touch friends and things like that. So that,
Yeah.
like my daughter just started going back to school last week. Of course, Yaya was the happiest, but I mean, we were all happy, but because it's not easy to teach a 4-year-old. So
Yeah.
it's great. I do think she has learned also there are other ways to learn, again, beyond the four walls. So I think that's
Yeah.
good. I would love to keep that hybrid going and have her realize the
Yeah.
world is your classroom. I do think in terms of pace, the nice thing to not take forward, hopefully, is the idea that you have to be in the office 5 days a week. I think that would
Right.
be nice. You can work 4 days, you can work 5 days, six, whatever. It's nice to do hybrid. I'm like such a fan of hybrid work. Also because I think it allows you to employ people you never thought you'd like if
Yes.
someone, 'di ba? Parang if someone sent you a resume and they're like, I'm in La Union. You before
Yeah.
you wouldn't even no more na. You won't consider. But why? Doesn't matter, right? If they're in front of a computer
That's
and you
right.
see them naman at some point in some intervals. Sure, let it happen, right? So I think I hope we keep that. I hope we keep things like not everything has to have a meeting. You can just
Yeah.
do a call. You can do a quick
But fun,
Zoom. You
lunches
can
were fun then, di ba, guys?
Yeah.
oo. I mean, it's nice to see
Yeah.
people. It's nice to see people. Super, super nice. But
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
overemphasis on work,
Yeah.
um,
Overscheduling too, right?
and the
Overscheduling.
overscheduling.
Yeah.
I'm glad it stopped, and I hope people remember and take that forward.
Yeah. How about you, Finina?
Well, I have a 3.5 and a 2. And I think that the young age of like 1 and 2 makes such a big difference in their behavior, right? Um, Already, I think, because my 3.5 is very personable. So like even when you go down to the elevator, he'll say hello to everyone there. And my
Yeah.
other one is still kind of like oblivious. So I would take them now one by one, like to morning dates. So I'll get my coffee and then they'll have their little orange juice and breakfast with me. And you know what I realize is that we as moms also have to prepare to start to take them out because my youngest one,
Yeah.
he is so much more into the screen. Like he is more engaged with online learning. Like he will do it, right? It's almost like he can talk better if it's on the screen. Whereas my other one can't talaga like online. He walks away, he runs away.
Oh.
So with the little one, so when we went out for our little breakfast date, I noticed we were in the coffee shop that it was also me because he was getting restless. Nah, I it was easy to pull out the the phone and watch,
Yeah.
right? I was like, oh man, I'm doing it. What he did? He took my phone and he sat down on the bench and he was like at home. So I realized that that was kind of like what we were doing at home, for certain time at certain times. So they get their
Yeah.
gadgets in the afternoon usually, but it was like an easy habit,
Yeah.
right?
True.
So I think like with transitioning to pandemic to normal life, moms also have to start preparing again what we had to do. Because with
Yes.
my eldest one, I remember when I was walking back, oh, I remember like I used to have toys, restaurant toys, right?
Yes, that's right.
Restaurant fidget toy. Like you were prepared
Yeah.
to go out,
Yeah.
and I mean I was just there with my
Right.
wallet and my phone. So I think we also have to prepare ourselves to make sure that they're also ready when they go
Yeah.
out transition.
Yeah.
Socially, like it's a little bit more of a challenge with the younger one,
Yes.
because he he wants me all the time. Like they only just see me.
Right.
So that separation part is also a little bit difficult. So with
Yeah.
us, what we're doing now is we have now someone that comes who teaches us. She was actually one of our teachers in Laro, who teaches, at least they've seen her on screen and then now they see her live.
Yes.
But the first 2 classes, it was really hard because they were calling me. I want mom, I want mom, even if
Oh.
they were in their own playroom. So I'm thinking, what more to transition when they're in school, when I have to drop them off at
Yeah.
school. Not just that whole like first day jitters there, because those the kids when it was pre-pandemic was used to going out of the house.
Yes.
right? Being in the car. But this time it's like you really have to take their hand through the whole process again.
Yeah. That's true. So I think it will be really case to case. Like some kids will be excited, like Noah,
Oh,
and
Noah was
some
running, like
and some will be a bit more
running,
nervous.
running na planning her daily outfit pa. I don't know if you see my husband's post, but she really dresses herself every day. It's like a big thing for her.
That's so cute.
Yeah, she
Um,
has a daily OOTD. So,
it's personality, diba? Like my kids are grown,
very
but
personality. Yeah.
even from the beginning, like my son, my eldest was the clingy one, like crying from day 2 of school until the end of school year.
But it's true
My
about
second son's
like,
like,
yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
true about the social interaction.
yeah,
Kasi like, I mean, I think Finina's son and my daughter's like my daughter would, there's a point in the pandemic, especially when it was very, yung super lockdown, yung kahit sino sa elevator kakausapin niya. Wow,
Yeah.
kailangan mo ng kausap, you know. Kasi like, hi, what's your name?
I want to guess Noah in my podcast.
Yeah.
She should. She won't stop talking. So like, she actually talks more than me, which is a bit of a feat. So
Wow. And
So,
yeah, but
yeah.
I mean,
So that's for Noah. Your kids are the different personality also. Well, because you have the COVID in the middle of your second son growing up.
but you know, I will say like I think with Laro, it was nice because like now she walks around the house saying chinelas are slippers, and that came from the tumbang preso class. So
Oh,
it's small things like that, but for me, it's a big thing. I'm glad she understands it. We wanted them to understand, and that's what we want them to
yeah.
continue to do.
And I think the
You know,
best way
it
to learn is really interactive,
has to
right?
have context.
Busy,
Yeah, it has to be
busy
interactive.
hands.
It has to have context.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And okay, so that's good. At least we're able to get some pointers for you from you guys also about the transition, the shift to normalcy. I don't use the word normal, right? Anyway, to the new world, the new world today.
I guess the
Um,
question is what's going to be normal, right?
yeah,
Because maybe where we were also wasn't so normal. It was
that's
just what we were
true.
used to.
true.
Yeah. And I think it's a journey that we need to go through with our children. And I think Finina's right. Like we remember what we used to do and also learn new ways to do things for our kids. Like in our early months of the pandemic, we were saying that how the use of technology changed. Like before, it was like our enemy. The screen time is like something you need to guard. And then when online schooling went like done, and then it became normal, like part of life, like we were all buying computers
Yeah.
for the kids and stuff, so it's really different. But then it has to be a balance again, and it's so interesting that your kids also react to the screen differently.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
such a hard balance because
Yeah,
how can we tell this little one, right? Don't watch it.
yeah.
Watch it, right? Because you're like, if it's class time, watch it. Stay there, right? And then
Hey, don't move.
no,
Don't move for 40 minutes. Like,
yeah. So it's very like it's challenge, right? To really balance. That's the beauty
Yeah,
to find the balance of that.
yeah. And so now I want to ask you guys about mompreneur life, like in terms of your businesses. Are you looking at doing new things together, expanding where you are, both in your full-time business as well as with Laro?
well, expanding where we are for sure. Like 1000%. That's where the direction that we're heading. Even also Mommy Meter, Finina's like, why don't you just join Mommy Meter? Okay, I'll just join Mommy Meter.
Yeah.
Okay. So, madali akong kausap, one text, like, okay, sige. Like,
Yeah, even
I do.
Angela, you want to join Mompreneur Lab? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Can you do this talk?
Like, yeah, if I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, I'll say I really don't. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that, so we have that. So we have a lot of plans for Laro, actually. We're very excited about it, excited to get it off the ground. On Zen, I mean, obviously, we're still selling shampoo. We won't stop. It's actually very interesting, I think, to see the businesses that have succeeded. I hesitate to use
Yeah.
the word pivot, but have succeeded and grown from where they are. You know, it's a very tough thing for the last few years, right? Like I would honestly have hated to own a hotel. Parang Right?
Yes, anything
Cry na
travel.
lang, right? Like, oh my gosh, could be the most
Yeah.
difficult thing in the world, or a restaurant.
I would have
Parang,
wanted to have like a sanitizing business. So like
oh yeah.
sanitizing.
For me, sanitizing, or like if I were selling computers, man, I would have raked it in the last
Yeah.
Yes.
few
Or
months.
vitamins, right?
Or
Experiment,
vitamins,
furniture.
alcohol,
Alcohol.
alcohol, yung mga ganyan. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's interesting how resilient people are. I'm actually
Yeah.
glad in the way technology has turned. I'm
Yes.
very, parang okay, stop seeing it. You're right, stop seeing it as an enemy. It's a tool, it's here. So how do you
Yeah.
work with it?
And
You know?
honestly, Filipinos, like I watched from afar how businesses grew, like things are springing out, like there's
Yeah.
like all the things you baked, all the plants, all that. As in here, it's not the same. Like it's people are like, oh, quiet, chill. But there, it's like everyone's like, oh, I want to make this, and then my
Pandemic's
corporate
got
friends,
talent.
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah.
But Angela,
Kanya-kanyang hobby, di ba?
I want to use this time also to say that you actually launched the curls was new, right, during the pandemic.
Yeah. So
So
Laro's
tell us
my
about
second
that.
pandemic baby. Curls was the first. We're like, it was actually random. People kept, curly girls kept using us.
Remember, we
So
were talking about that because my niece has curls. I said,
yeah.
you have to, because, and then I have a mom blogger who, that's her secret. Like, she uses Zenutrients for her curls. I was like, you have this cultish, but you knew that already. So then you
Well, I
created the
knew it
curls
was,
line.
I no, parang we started noticing it, and then it happened more in the pandemic. I'm like, is there a curls line here? Then wala pala. I go, okay, you know what? We have to have a curls
Yeah.
line. That was also a very fast turnaround. I think under 6 months, which is a
Wow.
miracle for, if you think about sourcing, testing,
Yeah.
making the formula, the whole thing. Um, and now it's like, it's so big, it's its own brand, honestly speaking, practically.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. And actually, their stories are very sweet because a lot of them transition. They call it the transition. They rebond first. Then they're like, okay,
Oh.
you know what? I'll transition to curls. And a lot of them have, like, a lot of their stories are sweet. They're like, you know what? Before, lagi ako yung Santo Niño sa parade kasi
Yeah.
kulot.
Oh.
They make them the
Yeah.
Santo
It's
Niño. I go,
hard.
kawawa ka naman. You were
Oh.
never considered for ano. I see Santo Niño ka lang. So you're imagining the parade like that. Kawawa ka naman, ganyan. Or like, before we started using your brand, someone in the bathroom said, ay, parang sa Harry Potter. So she's like, akala ko ako si Hermione. Yun
Oh.
pala. And then someone said, kamukha niya si Hagrid kasi her hair
Okay.
was kawawa, right? No, that's why it's really like, it's such a personal thing. I mean, I
Yeah.
think hair and beauty is personal, but I think for curly girls, because nga, for the longest time, the response was, no, go to bond. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine being called Hagrid. Like, that's just, I can't,
Yeah. No, and it's
it's
really, and now they make not only make peace with the curls, but they love it. I mean,
they love it. They
curls,
celebrate.
now,
There's
di
a
ba?
whole, there's a whole thing, I
Yeah.
mean, so they feel beautiful.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine being 21 and for 21 years, even your own mother, she doesn't mean it
Yes.
because she just doesn't know what to do with your hair. Says,
Yeah.
no, your hair is ugly, pa-rebond ka, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a very empowering thing.
Yeah. So
Saka
congrats
madami
on
palang
that,
kulot
Anne.
dito.
Yeah.
Madami palang kulot dito. I can
Maraming
realize
kulot.
this year.
I'm kulot. And then, yeah, I had to like rebond and straighten. And then now you want to get a perm, right? It's like,
I know.
and thanks
Yeah.
to curls, you
Grass,
can live
grass
with
is
it.
greener talaga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Finina, I know you have your baby Lark. So I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was a touring business. So I thought it was okay, tell us more about Lark.
So Lark Experiences, when we were about to launch, it was pandemic.
Yeah.
We were gonna launch on March, end of March, and then boom, lockdown. We were like, wow, this is great, But yes, it is more about showing people around through a friend's eyes. So all our larkers or like our tour guides are homegrown from that town. So
Wow.
they're the ones that will take you around through what they know. So we have different kinds of activities for you to choose from, but
Yeah.
it stems from like, when you go to another country or even to another place, right? And you go with a friend or someone that's from there, you visit a friend there. That kind of like going around is so different than if you were to book a tour
Yeah.
guide to show you around.
Yeah.
So that's really what LARC is more about, just
Yeah.
sharing experiences.
So they go on a website or is it an app?
It's an app.
Mm.
So it was like it's out now,
Yeah.
but we had to kind of pivot to make it more virtual. So
Mm.
we were still sharing experiences, but it was just through a virtual platform. The Zenutrients team actually did one with us.
Yeah.
Um, we realized like a lot of companies, and we were just talking about it also a while ago, that they haven't met during pandemic. They haven't even met new members or new hires or even their bosses.
Yeah.
So we use LARC as more of a time to be able to experience together, kind of like company outing except virtual. So we
Nice.
hosted parties, meetings, general assemblies,
And then
and
you would do games, right? The games. Yeah.
they kind of like to tie in, of course, the virtual to the physical. So it also came with a kit, much like Laro. Came with a kit so that all the participants would have the same things, either if it was a costume or the game props, and then we would all do it together.
Fun. So that's going to be live already.
We
Starting
are
already.
yes, we are starting to
Yeah.
do our live on foot in the next couple of months. And then we still have a virtual, still a hybrid, because there's still some people that are at home and not yet ready to go out. So we still have that.
Yes.
But yeah, that's how LARC is going for this year. And then
Okay,
of
so
course,
they can download the app, Lark.
You
yes,
can finally do a tour. Oh my God, you guys really opened during pandemic.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes, but follow our social media so you can see what it's like
Yeah.
if you were to do virtual tours with us.
Yes. So social media, is it Lark at Lark?
LARC at LARC Experiences.
Lark Experiences, and then at Zenutrients, and of course their page at Maglaro Tayo, Laro, at Maglaro Tayo
Maglaro tayo.
in Instagram. So,
Yeah.
okay, so before we end, I love talking to you. Like, I love being with these two girls. Like, we're always never ending
We can
stories.
talk forever and ever.
Yeah. So, I'm sure this won't be the last. We'll have you again in Mommy Mundo. Please share there about your passion for all things Philippines for our kids. So, let's leave with your last message, like any tips or advice you may have about specifically about teaching our kids love of our country. So, Ange, you want to start?
I don't know what to say.
Miss Universe.
Miss Universe naman yung
Miss
tanong mo. Okay,
Universe.
I was just gonna say, gumawa kayo ng puto. I'm not kidding. It's such a simple thing to do. Please try it with your kids. You'd be surprised. They'll really enjoy. And if not that, then you can graduate up to halo-halo.
Yeah, or the buko if you have an itak.
Or buko.
If you have an itak. Is there a
Or
ano
if
ba,
you've never
substitute
seen
for
a buko.
Is there substitute for an itak if you don't have one? What a question. Butcher's knife. Butcher's knife.
Like a big butcher knife, yeah. We used a big butcher knife because clearly, why would I have an itak lying around the condo, right? If I did, you might have to worry about me. Like, yeah.
Fantasy zones.
We used a big butcher knife.
Yeah, okay. How about you, Finina? So, and just make puto or halo-halo. That's like a good tip.
I guess just enjoy, our culture and spend time with the family and through play to be able to teach the kids a little bit more about our culture. Whether it's like songs, if you like OPM, play it in the background, right? Songs, dances, maybe, and food. Food is the easiest because
food's the easiest. Yeah, food's a good gateway.
Yeah,
like once a week you can talk about the origin of like the food.
Yeah,
there's so much more to talk about it. Like if you serve kare-kare, for example, you can then talk about where it's from and then maybe a fiesta that happened there. Just like to integrate a little bit more of our Philippine culture to our kids, I think would be great in a fun way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Finina. So I guess it's also like remembering that the best way to teach our kids learn the most with experiences. So the more actually involved we are, if not us, our teachers or our angels at home, the more they can absorb concepts, right? So thank you guys for all that you do, both in your businesses and in Maglaro Tayo. That's why we have this podcast. It's named You the Mom because you the mom, guys. I mean, with all you do, we cheer you on. So thank you for your time today, Ange and Finina, and hope to
Thank
see
you
you
too. Thanks for
soon.
having us over.
Yeah, and keep making stuff, keep creating. Together is more fun. So I love seeing you guys together. Thank you, and we'll work with you soon in Mommy Mundo, okay, promise.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining us here on You the Mom. Catch you
Bye.
again next time. Bye.
Bye.